Change management. Change is inevitable, and it can be overwhelming for a business, but it doesn't have to be. With the right change management program in place, it can be beneficial, creating new opportunities and improving efficiencies. Change management requires a measured approach that takes into account the different aspects of the change process. The first step is to identify the elements of change and how they will affect the company, its employees and its customers. This includes looking at areas such as the technology, processes, systems, and culture that will be impacted by the change. Once these have been identified, the next step is to use tools to manage and monitor employee skills. This includes developing an employee skill profile that looks at their current skills, any gaps in their knowledge, and what skills they will need to acquire to successfully manage the change. The next step is to fill the identified gaps. There are a number of ways to do this, from offering training and development programs to recruiting experienced professionals to help implement the change. It is important to keep in mind that the key to successful change management is to ensure that employees have the skills and knowledge to successfully manage the change. Finally, it is important to monitor the impact of the change. This includes assessing the effectiveness of the change management program and evaluating the employees' ability to adapt to the changes. This will help to identify any further areas for improvement and ensure that the change is successful. Change management is an essential part of any business and can be beneficial when managed correctly. By understanding the different elements of change, using the right tools to manage and monitor employee skills, and monitoring the impact of the change, business can ensure that the change process is successful. The three essential elements of a change management program are: 1. Identifying the need for change. This involves understanding the current situation, identifying areas that need improvement or require change, and understanding why change is necessary. 2. Planning the change process. Planning involves setting objectives, identifying resources, and developing a timeline for implementation. 3. Implementing and monitoring the change. This involves monitoring the change process, ensuring that objectives are met, and making adjustments where necessary. Practical example for change management program. 1. Identifying the need for change. For example, a leader may notice that the team's performance is not meeting the expected standards and decide to conduct a review to identify areas of improvement. 2. Planning the change process. The leader would then outline a plan for how to address the identified areas, such as setting goals and deadlines, assigning tasks to team members, and providing resources to support the implementation of the change. 3. Implementing and monitoring the change. The leader will then implement the plan and monitor its progress, making sure that all objectives are met and that the change process is running smoothly. They would also adjust the plan if necessary to ensure that the desired outcomes are achieved. Managing resistance to change. So, why do people resist change? A few common reasons include: fear of the unknown. People may not know the consequences of the change and may be afraid of the potential results. Loss of control. People may feel that the change will strip them of the power, control, and authority they have over their work. Insecurity. People may feel that their skills are inadequate or that they lack the necessary knowledge to handle the change. Loss of comfort. People may feel that the new way of doing things is uncomfortable and unfamiliar. Fear of failure. People may be afraid of making mistakes or not meeting expectations. Prior bad experiences. Previous attempts at change may have been unsuccessful or overly difficult. Now that we understand the reasons why people resist change, the next step is to address it. The best way to manage resistance is to engage stakeholders in the process of change. This means considering their power, interests, and motivations to create a sense of ownership and participation in the process. There are various techniques that you can use to persuade people to accept change. These include communication. Provide clear and concise communication to stakeholders about the need for change and the potential benefits. Education. Provide training and development opportunities to equip people with the skills needed for the change. Support. Offer emotional, physical, and financial support to stakeholders to help them through the transition. Incentives. Offer incentives to stakeholders to motivate them to embrace the change. Participation. Give stakeholders the chance to influence the decision-making process and provide feedback on the change. Listening. Demonstrate that you are listening to stakeholders by responding to their concerns and objections. By engaging stakeholders in the process of change and providing the right support and incentives, you can reduce resistance and increase the chances of successful change management.